Hello and welcome. This is a continuation of our networking series, and in this video I'm going to show you how to recover a switch password. That's a Cisco switch password. If you can't remember the Cisco switch password, there are different types. You can do different ways of password recovery, but here I'm going to show you one way. In a previous video we have managed to break the password of a Cisco router. Please see how we log onto the shell, how to set up the COM port, all that were covered in the previous video. In here, I have a console cable connected to my laptop and this Teraterm or PuTTY working, and the switch is asking me a password. So what I'm going to do is I will unplug the power button. Then there is a mode button in front of the switch. I will hold that mode button from the front of the switch while the power cable is unplugged, and after 30 seconds or so, I will plug the power on again while still holding the mode button. Then a switch will go into a different shell, and that's where we're going to break the password. So I'm still holding the mode button, and then after some time it will flash all the interfaces, and that tells me it's going to that mode. So I will wait for a while. I'm still holding that. And if you see the machine here, it says the password recovery mechanism is enabled. That's the shell where you need to be. And I'm still waiting. Then I'm going to release. Okay, if you can see, it went to a switch shell. So in here, we're going to write some commands. And if you want to see the details, please check the Cisco documentation. So the command to run is flash _ init, so initialization. Then I'm gonna check what's in the directory, the flash directory. So it's gonna say flash with the colon, and this is what we are after, the configuration file. What we need to do is we need to copy that file and rename it first. So rename, and the file we're renaming is in the flash, so you have to put the full directory flash, and it's the config.txt.text. That's the file we are renaming to another name, which is flash, and we call it config.text.old, for example. When you do that, then we boot the machine. Okay, so now it reloaded, and what happened is the switch is now in an empty configuration, and if we say enable, so if we now go to the enable mode, and then we have, let's check the directory, flash, and you see the file in here, it is actually what we copied from the config.txt, and it contains our configurations. So what we need to do next is to rename the file to the original, which is the command we're using is rename config.txt.old. We are changing it to the original, which is config.txt. When you do that, then you load. We have to change that configuration. So what you see is that file is now changed. That means we're copying the configurations. Then if you say now copy flash, config.text to system dot running-config. So what we are doing is that file config.text, we are now copying it to the running configuration, and that will bring the existing configuration to our running configuration. Then we will be able to see the passwords, or maybe change the passwords, override them, whatever change we need to do, so that we will be able to access the switch. We will do it from there. So let's save that now. Yeah, now the empty running config will have our configurations. Okay, do you see now the machine name is changed to the original one, and this is where you can see the configurations including the password. So if we say show run, there is one enable secret password there, for example. There is also some other configurations, some trunk ports, maybe some VLANs, and some console password. So what we need to do is change the enable password, conft, and we say enable. Let's put it somewhere, some simple password. That's now overwriting the existing password. And then we need to go to console password and change it. So the VTY also has passwords, so those up to 4. And we change the enable password, we change the console password. If you have usernames and stuff, you can also do the same. Then we exit. That now configuration is containing the password which we know compared to the previous one. I'm going to save that now, saying whatever in this running configuration, copy run, start. Save it to the startup config, and that completes. And then we reload the machine. That means we can now log in to the configuration with the password that we set up. We haven't done any changes to the device configurations, which include probably the VLANs, existing setup. If that device was actually supporting services in your environment, you haven't done any change. All you have done is the password recovery. Sometimes it could be quite risky when you are doing password recovery, so you need to be very careful with what you're doing, not to interfere with the existing configurations. So this is now reloading. Okay, so the machine now rebooted. It's complete. If I now log in, it's asking me the password. So we know the password we set up, and you see the access is now possible. Even the enable password, if you do that, and if I say show run, I can see the things that are set up. This machine is probably configured with basic configurations, but we didn't have any access. So if I say show VLAN brief, this is containing one Wi-Fi password, Wi-Fi VLAN, and that's all. So here we managed to recover the password. Thank you again, and see you in another video.